Welcome to the session. Topic of this session is rural development experiences in Asia. You are aware that the rural development is important component and is always in concern for overall growth and development of the economies, particularly in Asia. In Asia we have large rural base, major policies is focused on the development of rural development because there is a large rural population who depend on the farm economy or non-farm economy. They live in the rural areas, and actually in the rural area we have the primary production activities like in agriculture and or related activities. And this primary production activities also basically dependent on the natural resources, natural factor of production like land, and they use labor intensive technology for production. And actually rural development policy basically rural development program basically dependent on how to improve the how to bring the people from the poverty, from the out of the absolute poverty which are persisted in the rural areas, and how to bring this the population in the path of development, on the path of development, to improve their income, to improve their livelihood opportunity. So actually in this session we will be discussing about the rural development programs which have been initiated in the Asian countries like China, Indonesia, Taiwan and the Thailand, and also we will see we also try to collaborate these initiatives, rural development initiatives in this country with the India's experience, how the we can learn the lessons from the development activities from these countries, and we can improve the rural development program in India. So first let us understand what is the rural development actually. Rural development is a important component of the overall development concept. Actually for the rural development we need to have a specific approach, and we actually have a specific target groups, and to target these people or target group in the policy makers, they formulate specific strategies to benefit to cover the different target groups. World Bank has given a definition of the rural development as a strategy designed to improve the economic and social life of a specific group of people, particularly the rural people. And basically rural development involves extending the benefit of development to the poorest among those who seek a livelihood in the rural areas. And the group includes the small scale farmers, the tenants and the landless workers who engage themselves in the agriculture activity or also non-agriculture activity. And for rural development, apart from the agriculture sectors, we need to take different aspect of the rural development, like the employment generation activities, or improving the skills of the laborer so they can get the job in other enterprises or non-farm sectors, or utilizing the land and water and other natural resources to the maximum level, so that we can gain out of that natural resources, or we can start the production activity. And the basic aim of the rural development is to improve the overall quality of the life and to encourage people's participation in the development activities. Rural development is of utmost importance for the developmental strategies, and actually it transform the it takes the transformation in the context of social or political issues. So it is not only the economic activity, it is a social and political activities. And in case of the rural areas, when we talk about the problem is due to the pattern of the land holdings or nature of the social relationship, in the society. So let us start with the development experiences in the China. The foremost program which was started in the China is the liquidation of the land holding. After the revolutionary struggles which was began in the 1920s, land ownership was liquidated by 1949 when the People's Republic of China was established, and the land was redistributed among the poor and middle peasants, and this was the basically a transition from the small peasant agriculture to the agriculture collective agriculture, which took place in the various phases or various stages, because they have the large population base, the size of land holding is also very small, so they have promoted the collective agriculture, instead of small peasant agriculture. And then in China, mutual aid teams were formed, and basically because they have the small land size, so a group of 6 to 10 households were formed, and so that they have pooled their resources and start do the cultivation practices. But there was still some problem, because in the land ownership was the individual, but the practices of production was collective, so there was some issue also in this mutual aid team. And then in the China, elementary cooperatives was started in the year 1953. In this elementary cooperatives, 60 to 70% of income is distributed for the work done by the individual member, and the rest of the income was kept with the cooperative for the some development activities that was distributed as the rent for land or other means of production. So some part of the income is distributed based on the work done by the individual, and some part of the income is distributed as a rent for the land on other means of production. Then after the elementary cooperatives in China, advanced producers cooperatives were established, and basically here the area covered was one whole village, and these cooperatives having the larger capital and better resources, so they can have activities on a large scales or on a commercial scales with the advanced methods of production. Then people's community was established, and it was basically a combination of agriculture cooperatives and the lower administrative units in rural area, that is known as the Heshing. Objective was to organize and mobilize rural population to develop their land and other resources. This format and the people community was basically a beginning of the modernization into the area. So they have the collective power as well as the administrative power also. But here the involvement of government was also there, and then China moved to the second land reforms, and this people community was dismantled in the year 1980, and the private lease of the land was allowed, and the privatized agriculture operation came in place in the place of the centralized communal system. And then in the China they have institutionalized the rural urban divide. Actually they started a program or for the household registration known as Hukou, and the people, they have to register themselves as the rural people or urban people, and the rural peoples, they excluded it from the urban job market, social welfare schemes and housing and education programs which are being run in the urban area. And they have to do the agricultural activities or the activities in the rural areas. So only the member of the rural collectives had access to the agricultural land, and here again some problem, government have to give special emphasis in the rural area for those people who are not getting the proper employment or livelihood from the agriculture sector. And actually in the China, different approaches to rural development was followed, like security approach, the rural development approach, and family approach. And in case of China, special emphasis was also there for the women. The for women, the supply and marketing cooperatives were organized especially for the women, and the women was also important part of the mutual help foundations which were created in China. Now we will move to the rural development experiences in the Taiwan. In the Taiwan, basically small scale farming pattern is there because they have the limited plain land, because the geography is basically of hilly terrain, and they have limited land available for the agriculture purpose, but they have the large natural resources. And policy of the Taiwan is that they encourage maximum utilization of land, labor and capital, and with the objective to increase the farmers' income to improve the living standard in the rural area. And paddy is the most important crop, and special programs they run for the paddy field and dry land projects. Objective is to stabilize the rice production in the country and to ensure a balance between the food supply and demand. So to provide the sufficient food, there is a demand from the population is there. So to match that demand, they have a special emphasis on the food production of the rice. And then the Taiwan also focuses on the promoting agricultural trade, and basically they strengthen the international agriculture cooperation in order to meet the requirement of the agriculture produce by the domestic market. In the Taiwan, they have also focuses on the protection of the natural resources, and they have taken the several measures to improve the rural living standards, because the labor in the farming they decline because of less income enhancement opportunity, and many for that purpose many industries were established in the Taiwan, and they have also focused on the infrastructure development to meet the socio-economic need of the people. And then in the Taiwan, they have run a very large level program for comprehensive social security system. So in this social security system, they have provided the health insurance, prenatal care, the medical and disability care. And then in case of Taiwan, the special or importance is given on the female labor. The availability or quantity of the female labor also rose over the period of time, and the woman started playing a crucial role in the farming, in the family farming in the Taiwan. Now we'll move to the Indonesia. There is a lot of changes in the post revolutionary period in the Indonesia, and after the actually 1945. The village structures has changed, and basically there is a different strata based on the ownership of the land holding. So after the 1945, this village structure has changed. The head of the household become eligible to be a member of the village council, and the villagers and peasant gained from the rising prices, rising agriculture prices, and the Indonesian economy also became an open economy. And basically, there was a lot of emphasis in the Indonesia to have a social harmony in the societies. And in 1966, the army came to the power, and new order was established, and the rural organization they came under the government, and in this after the army which came in the power, the people, the farmers, they have limited participation in the village organization or rural organization, and there was only one local level organization, and after 66, and actually they have established a village unit cooperatives, that is basically a local organization that was called as Badan Usha Unit Desa Bud BUUD in 1971, and the existing rural cooperative activities were amalgamated into the Bud to enhance government and to enhance government control over an area. And actually the fertilizer production or the fertilizer distribution and purchasing agent for rice was this Badan Usha unit Desa Bud, and this organization remain instruments of the government policy to be implemented. So this was the important part in after 1971, and in June 2001 they have initiated the land laws, and basically idea was to develop land related laws and improve the local legislative drafting capacities. And then in the land reform program in Indonesia, Rural Development Institute was established. Indonesia is working to ensure that there is revised regulations on the land, and they provide a practical way of resolve land conflicts of large plantations and government sponsored agriculture projects. In case of the Indonesia, the women played a significant role. The women participated in the development activities, particularly in dairy cattle management or in the family welfare activity. The women played an important role in Indonesia. Then in case of the Thailand, different rural development programs were initiated, and change in the farming was one of the important ideas in the Thailand, and new institutions were established to cope with the change in the production and distribution, and to provide the credit to the farmers, and to make available road, irrigation, agriculture extension activities, the cooperatives, agriculture research and community development. These was the important initiatives taken in rural area in Thailand to make the changes in the farming. Several leaders are there in the Thailand, and some official leaders and some non-official leaders, and basically there are different the farming groups are there like cooperatives in the Thailand, and basically they work to promote the political, economic and social development in the Thailand. And for implementation of project in the Thailand, training were provided to the officials and the peasants, and they also organized the group in farmers cooperatives in the Thailand to undertake to implement the projects of the rural development. And top priorities is given to the rural development programs since 1970s in the Thailand, and participatory development came into focus by involving the rural societies of peasant in the development activities, and there was focus also on the farm diversification to diversify the production activity of the agriculture sectors. And various action plans and new strategies were developed in the Thailand to create jobs, to reduce the problem of the unemployment, and like India, they have also implemented integrated rural development program, and basically rural employment generation programs they have started in the Thailand. Then in the Thailand in 1998 they have conducted a need assessment study, that is Thailand agriculture sector need assessment study, and this study recommended several recommendation to the policy makers, like in the providing funding to the labor intensive natural resource conservation project in the Thailand, then diversification of the land use, then forming and establishing the cooperatives and community based organization, and then also this study recommended that there is a need to provide the fiscal incentive to rural enterprises, and they have started important programs for rural development like 1 million Behat, a village policy. So in this program basically the amount of 1 million Behat is allocated for the development of a village, and then they have also focused to one village, one product concept. So they want to focus on a particular product in a particular village. So one village, one product concept also they brought in the Thailand. And women also played a very important role in the Thailand's rural development programs, and they have started development of cooperative based on the women members since 1975, and they have also established this Cooperative League of Thailand (CLT), in which the vocational training is provided for the women cooperative members, and then there was a special program to enhance women participation, then the production and marketing support to the women's cooperatives or women groups, and also they have also promoted the development of women leaders in the Thailand. And in India also, similarly different programs we have implemented for rural development, like we have started with the community development programs in 1952, then poverty alleviation programs, employment programs, rural employment programs we have started. Then there was a special focus on bridging rural urban divide, providing the urban facility in the rural areas. This was some of the important programs we have started in India. Then land reforms and area development approach also we have followed, providing the land ownership to the cultivators and to the actual cultivators, then consolidation of the land holding, and also focus on the area development, like desert area development, drought poor area development, command area development programs we have started in India. And the special focus was also given on the women in the rural development program, particularly after the integrated rural development programs, where we have started the group approach. So a specific woman oriented self-help group was formulated, and this self-help groups started some production activities. So empowerment of women was there in our India's rural development program. And then we have also focused on the Panchayati Raj institutions. So after 73rd Amendment in 1993, three-tier structure of cooperatives governance was set up in the country, and they have been given the financial and administrative power to undertake the development activities in the village areas. And then in India, we have also focused entrepreneurial activities, entrepreneurship development, because the giving a job based on the government fund is always not possible. So we have given the lot of provisions to create self-employment in the rural area. So this was one of the important aspect in the rural development program in India. And when we talk about the rural development experiences which are relevant to the Indian in India, basically rural development programs they have focused to create social economic infrastructure and to bridge the urban rural divide. Then our programs also focuses on to eradicate the rural poverty as a part of Million Development Goals. And mainstay of our rural development policy is the concern for weaker section, and we have focused on the women empowerment and enhance the role of Panchayati Raj institution. And we have also given attention on the development of basic amenities like housing, drinking water, sanitation, and the rural roads and rural infrastructure in the country. And in all the rural development programs, we have created a mechanism for the monitoring and evaluation of the programs. And there was a comprehensive multi-level, multi-tool system is there for monitoring of the program, and which provide a mechanism or the process to review the existing programs, modifying the existing program, or introduce the new programs of rural development. And In India and also in other developing countries, there was a focus on to study the efforts of other developed countries to see their relevance to the Indian policies. So, because India is the largest democracy, and so we have the largest rural population in the country. So, whenever we implement whenever we take the ideas of rural development model from other country, we need to see that this principle of democracy is always there in the country, so that we can implement the program effectively. And when we talk about the main features in the rural development program in Asian country, in China, basically they have adopted largely the cooperative models, like they have established the mutual aid team, elementary cooperative, advanced producer cooperatives, or also the people community, and they have implemented the second land reforms, where China is transformed from the state supported system to the family support welfare system. And the guaranteed access to land is one of the primary factor of social welfare in the China. And then in Taiwan, the land reforms led to the fast phase of the development in the agriculture. And in Indonesia also, the village unit cooperatives and plan for land reforms and land registration was one of the important features. And in case of the Thailand, creating a job and program through integrated rural development and rural employment generation program was one of the best idea, which we have also implemented in India. And when we talk about the women participation and empowerment in the rural development program, almost all the countries, they promoted the participation of the women, and there was always focus in all the development, all the Asian countries, to improve the skills, conduct the training programs, and form the women cooperatives, and start the income generating activities, and promote the production and marketing through the women's organization, women's groups, women's cooperative organization. And the cooperatives which have been implemented almost all the Asian countries, we have also implemented this model of cooperatives, and it has some positive impact, but this concept need to be strengthened, and for the equitable development of cooperative organization in the country. And we also followed the land reforms, and the objective was to achieve an egalitarian social structures, and which allow the participation of all the social structures and elimination of the exploitation. This was one of the major idea. So for that purpose, we have done the evolution of the zamindari or intermediary tenures. Then we have done the ceiling on the ownership, the consolidation of the holding, and land ecosystem also we done. And we have implemented this Panchayati Raj institution, which was the unique features of India. And actually this Panchayati Raj institution system need to be further empowered and strengthened further for effective implementation of rural development programs. In this program, basically we have gone through the similarities in the programs and schemes in collective effort in tackling the enormous task of poverty, people's participation, employment, skill development, and women's participation in rural development activities. And we have understand there is a need to protect the farmers from the import and falling international prices, and there is a close link between the agriculture and rural development activities we have understood. And the country, they struggle to give quality life to the people, particularly those living in the rural area, in the poverty and deprivations. So in time to time, different types of programs and schemes were formulated, they were revised, and new programs are implemented, and there is a relentless endeavor to uplift the pupils who are living in the rural areas for their empowerment. With this, I thank you.